Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2002 first round pick from the University of Miami, the number 27 pick overall pick, Mike Rumph.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Bay Area? All those Niner fans out there, where y'all at, man?
Oh, we got this young kid amid the dream. He's an up and coming YouTuber for the Niners, man. Oh, Gavin Eskerat, he's another good Niner fan that's been on the Grant Cohen. They'll come around, man. It's already five people. What's up in the building?
Yes, it's a little early, so I know it's early over there in that Bay Area. Over here it's 1 o'clock, man, lunchtime. So I'm on my break
Yeah.
here, just hanging out with CG. What's good, CG?
What's good, Mike Rumph, the DB coach, man? What is up, bro? So let's introduce the audience where they can find you at and who you are as a person, man.
Yeah, so Mike Rumph. I'm currently at the University of Miami over. I coached cornerbacks for 5 years. Now I'm the assistant director of recruiting over here. Um, Instagram is Coach underscore Rumph. I think my Twitter is Coach Rumph 16. I think that's pretty much about it. But just living the dream, man. Life after playing the game, missing the Bay. You know, I remember I should be listening to KMEL 106.1. You know what I'm saying? What's up, San Jose, Santa Clara? What's up, Richmond, Oakland? You know what I'm saying? Sacktown, where y'all at? Them boys over there, East Palo Alto. Just missed the Bay, man. Much love out there. I fell in love with the Bay. I was out there for 4 years, and it's like another home, man. I haven't been out there since the Super Bowl came out there. So,
So tell me that transition from going to Miami to the Bay Area.
man, so you guys gotta understand, like, we're about 3,000 miles away, Miami. And my first time in Cali was when we went to LA to play in the national championship. We played the Rose Bowl and we beat Nebraska in 2001. So we was only there for like a week. So and that's LA. So I kind of was like, this is my first time in Cali, whatever. And then so when I get drafted, they said I'm gonna be going to San Francisco. I was like, okay, I've been to Cali before, and I thought the Bay was gonna be like LA. And I later learned that was a total different, like two different worlds or whatever. But just coming over there is like San Jose, so it's like 80 degrees, no clouds, no rain, just the most beautiful weather ever. And then my agent one day was like, I don't want you to come up to San Francisco and meet me. And he's like, bring a jacket. And I'm like, what, I need a jacket for 80 degrees down here? He's like, no, it's gonna be cold up there. So I get up there to San Fran and it's about like 40 degrees with the wind blowing. And now I understood why he said bring a jacket. So and then the fog, the fog rolling in, it was just a whole nother thing. And what messed me up the most, the hills. Florida is all flat. We're all flat. So the whole time I'm riding around, I'm just looking at the hills, and everybody like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, bro, y'all got hills, y'all got mountains out here. So that was a big shocker for me. The weather, the mountains, everything. But just coming from Miami, it was a little different. But the Bay was all love when I got out there.
Oh man, so that it had a good vibe right there. So okay, I bet the dream is asking something similar to what you've gone through in college. How was it playing with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed? Do you have any stories about them?
I played with Ed. So remember, Ray Lewis is like 1994. Ed and I got
Yeah, he
there
was
like,
past that time.
yeah, 97, 98. So I played 4 years with Ed. Uh, Man, I got so many stories with Ed and I. I can remember the day or the game when Ed and I became really good, and he just went to a whole nother level though. But we played Penn State down here in '99, and I got beat for the game winner with like a minute and 30 seconds to go. They're number 8 in the country. The crowd's pumping, and I covered this guy the whole game. Chaffee Fields had a great game against him, and the last play threw a fade. I had a cast in my hand. I couldn't grab him, and he broke out, and Reed went to go tackle, and Reed missed a tackle. And our coordinator Greg Schiano was going in on us the next day about what we should have done or what we could have done better. And it hurt me, but I never gave him a touchdown again as a Hurricane. So the next 2 years, that play kind of made me a first round pick because I tightened up and I did things better. And Ed did the same thing, but Ed went from a good player to an All ACC, Hall of Fame Hurricane to a Hall of Fame gold coat wearing NFL guy. So I think that play was when him and I just took everything to another level.
Yeah, it's like you guys had one of the best secondaries in 2001, which is like one of the best secondaries in the country. Like watching the highlights, even though it was a short highlight, I was looking at it. And I'm like, wow, dude, you were like a hitter. You were more like you were playing linebacker in that way, but you were just a cornerback. But can you give me like a backstory of what got you to just like you said you were recruited as a safety, right?
Yeah, so long story short, so as a little leaguer at the age of 7 years old, I always want to be physical. I wore number 42. You know why? Because running a lot. And I want to bang hit people like running. But deep inside, I could tell you guys this now. Like, so my mom passed when I was like 8 months old in a car accident. So I don't really remember my mom. So in Little League, everybody had their mom with no dad, and I had a dad with no mom. And those moms would be on the sideline like, "Go Johnny, go get him," and I'd be like, "I'm gonna bust Johnny's ass because my mom ain't here," you know. So that kind of created something inside of me, like I'm gonna tear these
Motivate.
guys up. Yeah, that motivated me a lot as a youngster. So I became physical, I think, because of that. But down the line, in high school, I was one of the top safety, actually the number two safety in the country coming out. And I thought I was gonna go to the University of Miami and play safety. And the day I got there, Chuck Pagano, he said, "We're gonna try you at corner." And I already had in my mind, I could tell this. Here's another E. Reed story. So as a senior in high school, I would catch the train down here and watch practice. And I'm watching E. Reed practice. You know, he had those weird pigeon toe feet, and he was going through motion. And I'm like, bro, I'm better than this dude right here. You know, I'm gonna beat him out. And you only have a lot of scholarships, so it wasn't a lot of players. So I'm like, if I could just beat Ed Reed out, you know, so I'm good. So word got back to Reed that I told everybody that I was better than him. So when I get on campus, Reed would not talk to me. Like only time we talked was in practice because we had to communicate. But on campus, at lunch, I'll come sit at the lunch table with them, and they'll get up and just leave. And like the whole first year, and I started as a true freshman, but they would not talk to me. So later on, we became like this. You know, long story short, we became like this. But yeah, I started out as a safety, but I moved to corner my first day at UM, and I played corner up until Mike Nolan later in 2005 or four. I think four. He moved me. They moved me back to safety.
Okay, so that's intriguing. How you were like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna beat out Ed Reed in this situation. I'm gonna take his job," but he kind of got all mad and just threw it at you. But okay, so there's another question that's relatable. Who gave you his your piece of advice for your first year with the Niners? Who was one of the veterans?
To be honest with you, Running Lot, man. So that was the coolest thing about the Niners was Running Lot would call me once a week. And keep in mind, I just told you I wore 42 in Little League because I wanted to be Running Lot. And the alumni with the Niners are amazing. These guys are around all the time. Keena Turner, all those guys. Jesse would come by, but Running Lot called me every week and be like, "You did this good. You did this bad. You got to work on this." And then when we had some off time, he had some Toyota dealerships, and he would invite me out. And I almost did an internship, just hanging out there, learning the business of being a salesman and owning a business like Running Lot did. So I can say he was number one as far as just being the older guy coming back, checking on the young guy, and making sure we're good. But amongst the team, everybody, that's what made us great. Like we didn't have a lot of crazy great names, but everybody was in it for each other. So Zach Bronson, he was amazing with me, bringing me along. Tony Parrish, that was my guy. We moved in the same neighborhood together and taught me how to take care of my body. It's Jimmy Williams, my boy Julian Peterson. You know, he just a freak of nature. Just how to go hard in the game and practice real hard. So I learned a lot from a lot of different players out there.
Okay, so that's something like you got to pick knowledge from those players. So, what was your impression of Candlestick Park since
The
49's Ultimate
stick,
Report?
the stick, man. It was amazing, just coming in there, those fans, and like it's cold, you would think that, like I said, coming up from the south, you're gonna think it's gonna be a nice warm day, and you get to the stick and it's 50 degrees and the wind's blowing and the flags are going everywhere. You're right on the water, but the fans were elite fans, man, like die hard. You know what I'm saying? I would have never thought the Niners had such good fans, but I knew that feel like the back of my hand. Like what's important at the position of corner is you got to understand where you practice at. So everywhere out there on the numbers and the hashes on the field, I knew exactly, was it wet, was it soggy? It's always a little soggy out there, and the receivers didn't know that. So that's why you see a lot of receivers slipping down at Candlestick. So I knew it was going to be slick for them. So I knew which cleats to wear, little stuff like that. The Bermuda grass. I understood all that stuff. So the stick is near and dear to me because, like I said, I studied the grass and the turf and just everything about it. And I just knew all the great games that had been played in there throughout it all. But I just know every team that came was like, bro, I didn't know it's this cold here. So it'll be summer and it's freezing. I think Mark Twain said his coldest winter was the summer in San Francisco, and that's what comes to mind whenever I enter the stick.
Oh man, so it must be a different vibe because you come from Miami, which is a hot weather in Florida. But let's see. So how was it? Okay, so he asked this question: how did it feel to play with Brian Young?
Oh man, that's the man, man. That was like a coach on the field. BY was always he don't say much though. He's a big old guy and he ain't gonna say much unless it needs to be said. But when he talk, everybody listen. That's including the coaches and everybody around TO and all those guys. Everybody listen to BY. But BY had a sneeze, bro. Like this man had a sneeze that could shake the whole building. That's all I remember about him. He would sneeze. You'd be like, what? Like it's like an earthquake when he sneezed in there. But just a constant understanding of how to be a pro. And my thing was when I got there, I'm like, I'm gonna follow all these 10-year vets around and see what they do. And what they do is they go watch extra film on their own. They get in the cold tub. They're in the training room. They do extra workouts. So I followed the Matt Plum around. I followed BY around. Followed Jeff Garcia, all those guys, and just see what they do to make them different. And I learned a lot from BY.
Oh, that's good. So here's this guy. He's a Raiders fan, but he's asking any Charles Woodson stories.
So shout out to Charles Woodson Wood, man, one of my favorite players, bro. I grew up watching him play, and I modeled a lot of my game. Michigan was trying to get me to come out there when he was recruiting me and tell me I could play both ways. I'm like, bro, I'm not Charles Woodson. I'm not going to be able to play both ways in college. But Charles Woodson story, we go out there to the Coliseum. And your Raider fans are crazy, bro. Some of the things that you guys yelled at me in that stadium, I can't even repeat on this YouTube. But I see Charles Woodson, and this guy has the Jordan cleats on, the black tights rolled up, pants hanging, his pants is cut over his knees, and I'm like, wow, look at this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's Woodson, bro. I'm watching him stretch. We play him in the preseason, and what I remember the most was he was hurt, so he had like a shoulder sling on. He had something with his knee, but this man covered To the whole game, and that's for me respect. I respect corners that play hurt. A lot of guys be like, I'm hurt, I ain't gonna go, or put me on the number 2 receiver. He covered To the whole game, and that's when I was like, my respect on DBs that play hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't understand that you got a lot of injuries and bangs and whatever. But I respect the guys that play hurt. And he locked down To for a good amount of that game. It was a good battle between the two.
Yeah, I mean he's a hell of a legend. As much as I hate to say it, but he's the first ever to be a Heisman Trophy winner, and this guy played at a high level, even with Green Bay also. So he got a ring. But huge shout out to Charles Woodson. Here's a question from this Arizona fan. He's asking a question: which current NFL cornerback reminds you of your style of play?
Uh, Shoot, man, that's a tough one, bro. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm a throwback. Like the 5 yard rule. I felt like the 5 yard rule came in effect because of me. If you look at that whole timeline and when they started having the big corners and I'm up on the line bumping running guys, and then like a few years later, they created a 5 yard rule and I retired after that because I'm like, bro, I got to get my hands on people a lot, and they don't do that as much no more. So I can't sit here and just shout out no names or whatever. Those guys, I commend them because the game's got so much faster and bigger and more technical. So I commend those guys that play the game right now.
Yeah, but yeah, that's understandable. But as far as this, I guess he's asking, does Brian Young deserve to be in? Should make the Hall of Fame for next year or not?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. You got to put By in there, no doubt. Great man, great guy, great player.
All right. So another question about the Cardinal rule: which current DBs are people not talking enough about? Like which one comes to mind? It can even be one of the guys you're coaching.
Oh yeah, so I would say Rashawn Jenkins. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. I think Jinx needs a little bit more respect. Corn Elder, my guy played nickel and corner. You know what I'm saying? He handled his business up there. You know, Hurricane. Um, who else? Uh, I like Ward. I like Ward with the Niners. You know what I'm saying? He do his thing. You know, I think he reminds me a little bit of he's a little bit about how I was when I came to the Niners and being a first round pick. So yeah, they don't mention some of those guys enough.
Oh, so you can see a little bit of similarity between Jimmy Ward and yourself, huh?
Yeah, one thing that was tough was just being a first round pick. You go to a new city, everybody knows who you are, and you trying to figure this whole thing out, and you kind of put yourself in situations where you're not making the play because you're trying to do too much. And I had to get set down after my first year, and the coach was like, "Bro, just play within the defense." I was going all out of the defense trying to make plays because of who I was, but when I played within the defense, the ball just came to me. The football gods was on my side, and balls interceptions just hard hit me in my chest, and so I started making way more plays when I relaxed and just played within the scheme. And I think you know, this guy Jimmy's so talented; he can play so many positions that you just got to really lock in and just play within the defense, no matter what position you're playing.
Oh, okay, so that's kind of something there. So what do you miss about game days on Sundays the most from
Oh man, oh man. I mean, just adrenaline. What people don't understand about being an NFL player is like being a giant. You know what I'm saying? Picture yourself as you're just colossal. You know what I'm saying? Everything you do, everybody sees it, and you get this stage on a Sunday or a Monday night, and the lights are on and it's set for you. You got 80,000 screaming fans out there, and that's how it feels to be an NFL player. And I think that's what I miss the most. But the weird enough, I would almost be like in a depression mode as I left Candlestick and I'm driving down 880 home or I'm going down to 101. I would just be like depressed, bro. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? You go from such a high to like such a low. And I can honestly say I'm not the only one that probably feel that, but I think that's why a lot of guys go to different like elements like drinking or drugs, or just it could be just being a hole, you know what I'm saying? Because you just go from here to here a lot. And that takes a toll on you. You don't really talk about it, you just kind of just deal with it. And then when it's all over, you're like, shoot, you know what I'm saying? Luckily I was able to, I can move on because I'm a man before I'm a football player. So I was able to move on with life. But that's what I miss the most, just that adrenaline, that game day feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to be perfect. I'm working on perfection every play. So I miss that stuff the most.
Oh man, so it must. I mean, I felt the same way, even though it's not the same as the NFL. Semi football was a little more of a good vibe, also. But here's an interesting question: which was your best season in your opinion?
Oh, 2003. Because you look at it, my rookie year, I was still learning, learning curve, whatever. I played about 58% of the downs, and I played nickel and corner. But I kind of came into my own in '03. I made more plays. My stats were better. We had a better season. And then in 2004, I got hurt. And then 2005, I got hurt again. So I tore a ligament in my foot because I had plantar fasciitis. I know a lot of fans, regular people, you stand up on your feet a lot, you get that Achilles and heel pain. So I had that and it tore. And then I broke my radius tackling Steven Jackson. I got some good Ram stories, but and I respect the heck out of Steven Jackson and Isaac Bruce and those guys. But I broke my radius tackling Steven Jackson, and I'll tell y'all that story probably a little later.
Yeah, probably in the near future we could. Oh, here's an interesting one. This is huge shout out to 49 First Takes. Maybe in the near future you can collaborate with him because he's got an interesting channel. He's
Yeah.
saying last first round cornerback drafted by the 49ers. Crazy. Corey Davis, huge shout out to you. He's gonna say any. He's asking you, Mike. Did you ever cover Jerry Rice?
Yes. So big Jerry Rice fan, grew up, you know what I'm saying, watching them. And so that same game when I'm like sitting there watching Woodson get ready, and I'm like, okay, this guy's a dude. Jerry was playing for the Raiders at that time. So I remember in the locker room and Dana Stubblefield like, you ready? You ready, youngster? You ready, Rook? You going against Rice? And I'm like, bro, he put his pants on just like I put mine on, right? It's still 100 yards out there, right? You know what I'm saying? I was like, come on, bro, you tried me, man. I respect the heck out of this guy. When I was 4 years old, Jerry Rice was playing in the NFL. And here I am today going against this guy. So long story short, I covered Rice. He had 2 catches for about 13 yards. And, this was more down the line. He was running pick routes around the refs and pick routes and stuff. And I respect the heck out of him. But what prepared me to go against Rice was going against J.J. Stokes, Cedric Wilson, T.O., and Ty Streets every single day in practice because those guys had played with Rice. So everything they had learned in their craft and how they ran routes was similar to Rice. So it was almost as if I was going against one of those guys in practice when I went against Rice. And I like I said, all due respect. Then second time I played against Rice, you got to check the facts on this one. We're playing. This is down the line. I was with Mike Nolan. We went to the Broncos to play him over there, and Rice is with the Broncos, and he had like number 19 or something like that, and I had moved to safety. So Rice runs a slant, and I smack Rice, like smack him. And I remember he tried to be cute and catch it like this, and I kind of hit him that way. He looked up at me like, "Who was that?" And he retired like that week, bro. Like he retired. To this day, my dad's like, "You made Rice retire," but I know that this guy, I think he had already been down and out. But so Broncos Rice had a big hit, and I got hate mail from the 49er fans for hitting him. So I got fans like, "Why would you hit Jerry Rice like that?" Like, bro, because I'm trying to make the team. So I'm trying to do my job. So I got a lot of hate mail from the Niners for hitting Jerry Rice when he was a Bronco.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, so Ultimate Report's asking this intriguing question. Like, were you in any national championship game during your time in Miami?
Come on, man. 2001 national champs,
Yeah.
the best team in college football history. Are you kidding me? Yeah, man. Yeah. We just go ahead and Google 2001 national champs college football, bro. And then come back on here and then tell me what you think. Undefeated,
Oh,
didn't lose a game, you know what I'm saying? Won in the Rose Bowl. To this day, they say it was the best. I love USC and they team they had. Texas had a great team with Vince Young. But come on, the 2001 national champs, bro. Just look at the stats.
oh, yeah, dude. Like, you guys had one of the most dominant secondaries during that time, and it was insane. Like, you had like guys who were just ballers, like Ed Reed Hall of Famer, like you said. Dude, it's just one of the best. It was like considered like the Alabama of that era because you guys were like the most powerhouse at the time.
Whoa. What was that? Nah, I'm just
No,
kidding. I'm
no,
just kidding. Okay. All right,
I know, but
okay. I'm gonna go down to some names, CG. Here's my team from '01. Ken Dorsey, Frank Gore, Willis McGahee, Clint Portis, Reggie Wayne had already left, Santana Moss had already left, Andre Johnson, um, Vernon Carey, Brian McKinney, Philip Buchanan, Ed Reed, uh, DJ Williams, John Vilma, um, Howard Clark. We had a defensive end. Oh, Vince Wilfork. You know what I'm saying? How much y'all? Jeremy Shockey, Kellen Winslow. I can keep going, bro. So, and then
yeah.
Sean Taylor was on kickoff team with us. Sean Taylor was a freshman, and we had a couple more guys up and coming. But man, yeah, we was loaded, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying you guys had the far better team than what this current Alabama team has. But I'm just saying at the time you guys were the most
All right,
dominant power. Yeah,
I got you.
you
I
guys were.
got you. I got you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's a question by Jay. What do you think about Garrison Hurst?
Man, I love Garrison, man. He was an old head in there. He was real hard on us and he messed with us a lot. But when it came that game day, you know what I'm saying? Then nobody told the rock like Garrison did, man. And he was another savvy vet that I sit back and watch and learn, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the stuff we did, what people don't understand, those teams in '02 and '03 was kind of player led. Mariucci did a good job of letting the players predict how we were going to do things. So Garrison was one of those guys, and then he had Fred Beasley in front of him, man. Like Beasley was a monster full back up front. So Garrison had that, and then later on Kevin Barlow came about. But I love Garrison to death, man. He probably going to be in the Georgia Hall of Fame, and yeah, what I'm saying, good people.
Oh, huge shout out to Beast Rider, aka Ryan Sakamoto, man. He says, "What's up, CG Mike? Remember, as a fan, I caught Mike at a Valley Fair, bought his jersey, and had him sign it while he was eating it in the food court his rookie season. Is that true?"
Yeah, if he says true, it's true. I never turn down autograph. Trying to get old coach the chills in here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real though. You know, I love the fans, and you know, it takes a lot of those guys to support us like they do, and like I said, there's no fan like the Niner fans. So, and you just brought a flashback. Valley Fair, I used to go to that mall like every day, bro. Like coming from Miami with so much to do and just moving over to San Jose is like, what are we gonna do today? Go to Valley Fair. So I was always walking through there shopping and stuff, and getting a chance to bump into the fans and say what's up. But I appreciate that, man.
Oh, that's great, man. Let's see. Yeah, I guess this guy's agreeing with you. This was a really stacked roster team when you guys were at Miami. And rest in peace to Sean Taylor. This guy had the making of being a Hall of Famer. It's just his life was cut too short. I mean, this guy was exceptionally good. Like I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I got some Sean Taylor stories too, man. I got so many of them, but you know, I don't know how they can pertain to the Niners. But I remember we played them. I don't remember what year it was, but I want to say like '03, '04, '05, some one of those years. And Redskins came to Candlestick, and all my boys was like, Mike. I didn't know he was that big. You know, Sean was like 6'3", 235, playing safety. And I think he had a pick. He might have picked off Dorsey that game too, by the way. But yeah, my boy's a beast. So I had the blessing to play with Sean at UM. He was a freshman when I was a senior. And then actually, when I got traded to the Redskins, and I didn't notice at the time, when I got there, pretty much Sean was the one that requested me to come. He had that much clout with the Redskins that he told them, we need a nickel, we need a corner, get Mike Rumph. And they came and got me. They traded for me. So and I had a good time every day in meetings and just being around him. The thing about Sean was he was always meet 30 minutes early to every single meeting. It was the weirdest thing. Like we had a meeting at 8 o'clock, 7:30. Sean was sitting in there, big dress hanging down, and the nicest guy. It was almost like he was fake nice. Like, hey, good morning, how you doing? How's your daughter? You know, like, bro, like for real, like you a savage, man. But you know what I'm saying? That he was really a real nice guy, but he played the game as a savage, and sometimes he lived his life as a savage. But as when it came to the game, nobody loved it like him. I remember we would, have little arguments and stuff as a secondary, and he'd be like, "Listen, bro, I ain't come here to argue. I came here to play football." And everybody just shut up and just play. Like, all right, Sean said what he had to say. But just a freak of nature. The things I saw in practice, he had this one thing he would do. If he was at safety and the ball was coming too fast and he was covering someone, he would look up and tip the ball to himself. And I thought it was a mistake the first time I seen it, but I would see it like every single week. So let's say the ball's coming super fast and he couldn't get his hands on it. He would tip it up and then jump up and pick it. He did that on a consistent basis. So just some things I saw in him. It would be like 20 degrees. Everybody's complaining while we out here practicing. We haven't won a game this year. And Sean would be like out there just loving it, loving every minute of it, like a little 6-year-old playing football for the first time. So that's Sean Taylor right there. He loved the game.
yeah, I mean, he was a very exciting player to watch, even for my uncle who was a Washington Redskin fan, rest his soul. But he loved Sean Taylor for some reason. He said, "Oh, that guy is going to be something special," and I'm like, I'm pretty sure he is. I mean, I watched this guy play, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
like dude,
yeah.
like he's insanely good. Like it's sad that his life was cut short, but man, this guy had the making of a Hall of Famer, no doubt.
Yeah, no
Like
doubt, man. And like I said, he ran that organization of the Redskins. They allowed him to be who he really was, and he did some great things, man. R.I.P. Sean T, baby.
yeah, it's like this guy was exceptionally good. I mean, we can go on with that guy, but I think let's get some perspective on Frank Gore. What was it like playing with Frank Gore from Miami to the Niners?
Frankie, baby. Okay, so I love all my running backs. Y'all heard the ones I named: Clint Portis, Willis McGahee, James Jackson. I played with some dudes at running back. Jared Payton, my guy. Edgerrin James has got his gold coat. But Frank and Edgerrin, to me, was like my top two. And here's why I like Frank. Frank is from Coconut Grove down here, and it's like a little area like 10 minutes away from the University of Miami. So how about like when Frank came to school here? First of all, when he was in high school, Frank was averaging like you'll hear like, oh, Frank had 300 yards last night. He was at Coral Gables High. Frank had 300 yards the other night, and then people would be like, I bet you he don't get 250 yards. How do you bet somebody don't get 250? That's how you know he's getting 300, right? So in Dade County, that's unheard of. So I'm like, when is this guy gonna get here that's running all these yards and breaking all these records? When he got to UM, he didn't have no gloves on, no wristbands in practice, no socks, got black cleats like Mike Tyson, just jock strap shorts and the jersey. He could care less about looking good. We all trying to be pretty boys and the shield and the long black shirt up under the gear. And Frank didn't have none of that. This man just came in working hard. And I later learned, like, Frank loves ball. That's it. Like, that's it. That's what makes him a good player. He could care less about anything else. Girl, women, money. Frank loves ball. And I think that's what make him, that's why he's playing to this day. And the fact he's from the Grove, like the Grove is like they just put out a bunch of NFL mutant, like great players all the time. But Frank, yeah, when he got to San Francisco, I was so happy because I knew what they were getting. I don't think they knew what they were getting. But and I think to this day, when I talked to Frank, he said one of his favorite offenses was when he was with the Niners, and they had a really good scheme for him. So he always credits the Niners for his success early on in his career.
Oh yeah, like he was exceptionally good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a good question right here. How was it like going against T.O.?
Oh, great question, man. So to me, T.O. was the hardest working guy I've ever seen in the NFL level. And people had all these opinions. I think if he was on another team, I probably wouldn't like him. But when he was on my team, we loved him. And so T.O. would catch a ball and sprint. He'd catch a 5-yard slant and go 50 yards down the field as if his life depended on him every single play. Like, when I got there, I'm like, this man's showing out. Like, ain't no way he practiced like this. And sure enough, he really did practice like that. So he's the guy after practice catching 100 balls out of the jug. This guy, when we was in camp, you'll walk by his room. He'll be in there curling and wait at like 11 o'clock at night. All organic food, just a freak of nature. The guy's waist is this small. Just work, man, just work. And I think, he talked a lot. So I think that's what really got him in trouble. But I always felt like, why didn't they throw the ball to him more? I had a game where later in his career, we were playing the Giants. Remember that? We were playing the Giants in the second round, and they came to Candlestick. T.O. did not practice 4 to 5 weeks prior to that game. So he was literally in the training room every day getting treatment. And then he would like limp out on Saturday and jog through everything and then come and play in the games. And every single game, he was getting like 7 catches for 150. So this man hadn't practiced in like 4 or 5 weeks, goes into playoff games against the Giants and balls out. And I can tell you that he was not practicing. So, it was very tough covering him because even when you got him covered, he's not really covered because he's so long. If I'm on his back and he reaches his arms out there, I can't reach around his 6'3" frame, and the guy can roll. He'll yell at Jeff a little bit. He should, God bless the dead, Coach Knapp. He'll yell at Knapp a little bit. But I was like, feed that baby. I call him the baby. Feed the baby. He gonna cry. Y'all don't feed him, but yeah, he need to get like 10 catches a game.
Yeah, man, the guy was exceptionally good. I mean, I know a lot of people just can't stand him, but when he's on your team, you're gonna love him. I'll probably hate him if he was on another team. But the thing that makes T.O. a legend is the guy played through a broken ankle in the Super Bowl and had one of the best performances as a Philadelphia Eagle. It's like, dude, who plays like that? I mean, didn't he have like, what is it like? I forget what the kind of injury he had on his ankle or something, whatever he had. But
I think it was his knee. He tore a ligament in his knee, and they didn't think he was going to be back in time. But I'm gonna tell you, he credit that because a lot of his doctors and trainers, he put me on to some of those doctors and trainers. He was getting physical therapy by the best people in the country. It was a lady up there in San Fran. She worked with Jerry Rice and she worked with T.O. She worked with me and Tony Parrish. She was amazing. And and this guy ate well, man. People don't understand how important it is to eat organic foods. And he would go to Whole Foods and get all this food. And I knew T.O. was gonna be held up by that game because just how he lived. You're gonna see this guy drinking. You're gonna see him smoking, acting crazy. This guy lived right. And he ate right and he rehabbed right. And I knew he'll be back for that game. But yeah, that was historical for him to come back. That was in Jacksonville, that Super Bowl, when he came back and made those plays for the Eagles, right?
Yeah, like I think he had like 140 or 50 something yards on that game. But
yeah.
So Sickness is asking a question. Yo, Mike, what's your thoughts on our current DBs? How good can they be this season?
Bro, I'm gonna be 100 with you, man. I'm a Niner fan and I'm a Dolphin fan, but I haven't really, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and just go to talking about something I don't know. I'm so locked in with college. You know, we got Bama off the rip up here. We're gonna play Bama on September 4th, and I'm so tired of with this hurricane stuff, man. I hate to sit here and I ain't gonna sit here and make up stuff. You guys can tell me more about the DBs than I can. You know, I wish those boys the best because it's like that's a great organization. But I ain't gonna harp on that. But hold on, one more Teal story. One more Teal story.
All
So
right, let's
T.O.
get to
gets
that one.
traded. T.O. gets traded to the Eagles. I'm still a Niner. I'm at safety now. And keep in mind, like I love safety. Like, I played corner, but safety was like easy for me. And they were playing him and McNabb. And McNabb rolls out to the left, and T.O.'s running like scrambling a over route, and my boy's guarding him at the nickel, Mike Adams. And T.O. comes across the middle and I smack him. I smack like one of my hardest hits ever. And the ball literally fell on his chest while he was on the ground. The same thing, like he was looking up at me like, "Damn, who was that?" You know? And it was me. So later on, I'm reading the magazine, like Men's Health and Men's Fitness, and they interview him. They're like, "What's the hardest you ever been hit?" He goes, "I was playing my old team, the Niners, and a DB hit me really hard. And I thought I had broke my ribs. But this man came back and scored like 2 or 3 more touchdowns after that hit. So you know what I'm saying? Like I got crazy respect for him. I put it all in. I put it all in on him, and I thought he was done for the day. But he came back and he balled on it. That's the game. He stood and put his foot on the ball and flexed like I can't remember that commercial, but he did something like that. But that touchdown wasn't on me. But yeah, he flexed on us after that. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. I had to get that story right there.
Oh yeah, that's a good story, dude. Like man, so the way you were playing, man, you were getting a lot of hate mails on the Niner fans from Jerry Rice, and then you just laid a smack on To.
To yeah.
Damn, dude,
Hey, it's
man.
ball,
So
bro. It's ball. You know, it's ball. You know, I don't. I'm not looking out there, and them dudes don't feed my family, so I had to go ahead and do what I had to do.
oh man, for sure. So if you could intercept any QB, who would you like to intercept and celebrate?
All right, so I pretty much almost completed my list, but I would say Aaron Rodgers. You know, I got a lot of respect for A Rod. I intercepted Brett Favre 2003 up at Lambeau Field, one of the best. I knew the route. We had a code, me and the safety back then, and I was like, he was like, we always said, get least of them. It's from a comedy show, Kings of Comedy, and there's a term where they're like, get least of them, like let's go, like get your family, let's go, get Lisa. So I'm sitting at corner. It's 3rd and 8. It's all slants. I knew it from film, and I look at the safety like, bro, get Lisa though, get Lisa though. You know, like here it comes. And sure enough, Brett does in his style. He looks right, but throws across the field left, and I pick him off. And the linemen are like punching me under the pile, like they're mad at me, they're roughing me up under the pile, and I'm laughing like I got Brett Favre. I can't believe this, you know. So I got Brett, and then so I got Tom Brady going to the Washington Redskins. We played them in the preseason, and they beat the heck out of us. But they were going into our red zone about 30 yards out, and it's an out. The slot receiver ran an out. My guy ran a go, and he threw the out, and it was overthrown. And I'm covering the goal, and I turn around like, oh, you know, the ball hit me in my chest. So I bring it out the end zone. So I'm running along the 20 to 30. I get knocked out of bounds by a lineman, and you know how your shirt comes off your pad like that, whatever. And Tom Brady comes up to me and he fixes my jersey. He goes, "Good job." I'm like, that guy, you're the GOAT, bro. So to this day, that's why I like Tom more than any other quarterback because who does that when they throw a pick, you know? So I got my two, and I would love to, if I could have got Aaron Rodgers, that would have been great.
So yeah, as far as interceptions, man, who'd you had the most interception success against the most in your career? Like, I gotta know who it is.
Mark Bolger, man. So here at the University of Miami, we played in one game in 1999. He threw me 2 interceptions. Well, I went and got 2 picks. And then when we came here and we're playing the Rams every twice a year. In 2003, I got him twice in 2003 as well. So Mark Bolger is my guy, man. You know, I love him to death for that, bro, because he was throwing them to me. And then I want to say, weird enough, like, I always look at my career as it could have been like crazy good, or it could have been, you know, crazy bad. I feel like I was just in the middle and I was on the brink of being really good. Every third down, my first 3 years, the first game of the season, an interception hit me right in my hands or right in my face or right in my chest. We were playing my rookie year. We're in the Meadowlands playing the Giants. First series, a ball comes right at me at the nickel, hits my shoulder, deflects off Tony Parrish, intercepts it, and runs for like 15 yards. I'm like, bro, my first third down in the NFL, I could have had a pick. Fast forward, 2003, we're playing the Rams. I know route. I'm at the nickel, and Mark throws me one, and I'm sitting like, here it comes. The ball literally went through my hand, hit me in the face, and like my third year, the same thing happened. So I was like, bro, I could have been, saying 6 picks in, but things didn't work out like that. And I think I was built more to be a coach. So here I am now.
Yeah, it's kind of like how your career could have been, but you came a long ways after your NFL career. You started from the bottom up from coaching little leagues, which I checked out a lot of your past videos, and you were like
Yeah.
doing a lot for the community, and you elevate yourself. So that's kind of like, so when people say, "What's Mike Rumph been up to lately?" He's coaching at one of the best colleges in the country when it comes to DBs.
The U, baby. Oh, the number one. You know that. We number one, man. But that little bit, coaching in the coaching, really, if you guys, anybody aspiring to be a coach, start with the little league level because you got to have patience for those little 8, 9 year olds. And I learned that I had a lot of patience for that. I don't know. I think I grew up fishing. My dad made me fish a lot. So I'm patient as heck. But I taught the fundamentals. So I'm teaching an 8 year old, you got to be getting your stance, in the linebacker stance, take a 6 inch step here, or do your hips, flip your hips here, or so that made me when I went to high school and started coaching, I was all about the fundamentals. And I think a lot of coaches going to high school assuming these kids already know. In reality, they don't know. So I always coach as if no matter what level I'm on, I coach as if these kids never heard of football. And I teach the fundamentals. So coaching Little League really made me a really good coach. And I would give that advice to anybody.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess Ultimate Report didn't catch on to that other story, but yeah, you did came a long ways. But can you tell us any Brian Young stories that come to mind?
Like I said, man, he was just up front, man. We played the Broncos a couple times, and he just shut all that down. Him and Dana Stubblefield, he shut that down, and what I'm saying, we call him wide back. What I'm saying, people who really know Bryant, we call him wide back because his back is humongous. It's like here I am right here. That's how his back is from the side. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy's a huge back, and he just worked out and took care of himself. And I saw a question earlier about relating to guys that are aspiring to be in the NFL. I think he asked me yeah, do you have mental blocks when you're a college student, athletes, and your best advice for kids that want to be in the NFL? So as far as mental block, I think what's really important for people to understand is everybody trains physically and everybody does a lot of lifting, but a lot of people don't train their mind. I think your mind is very important to work on, and whether that's a form of visualization. I'm a big fan of that. I lay down and visualize a lot of things. I meditate on things. I go to a therapist. We have a therapist here at the university, and he's like my best friend. I go in there like, how can I recruit better? How can I do this better? So I'm constantly figuring out ways to how to push my mental capacity. I think that's important for kids, and especially with the pandemic and what we've been going through and things like that, you got to really check your mind and make sure it's right. And I think once you see your things or visualize and you see those goals, you can accomplish them so much easier. So I think that's important. And then anybody that's trying to be in the NFL, bro, you got to outwork people, man. I wasn't the best athlete, you know what I'm saying? And I became a first round pick. But, when it came to it, I did track, I did football, I did basketball. I was state champ track guy. I ran track in college, you know what I'm saying? So when it came to going to the NFL Combine, I ran a 4.47 at 205 pounds, 6'2". So everything I did and all the work I did, it paid off to get me where I was at. And I was just not going to let nobody outwork me. When I got to the University of Miami, it was intimidating to see all this talent, but some of those guys wasn't just overall football players. If you need me to punt, you want me to be the kicker, I could be the quarterback, I can be the receiver. I'm a football player like that. And I think that's what made me overall better. So to those kids that are aspiring to be in the NFL, don't just focus in on being a good football player. Focus on being a good track guy, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, whatever you play, do it all. And all that stuff will come back whenever you figure out what you're going to do. All that stuff will come into hand, so you'll be more well-rounded. You'll be used to competing in all different aspects. So I think that's the best thing about to get you to the NFL.
Oh yeah, that's a good advice because it's coming from you. So last question, and this will be it. What's your prediction for the Miami Hurricanes?
Come on, man. You know I'm biased, bro. Undefeated
Undefeated?
season. Undefeated season.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The remake of 2001. They're gonna have the U Part 3, the 30 for 30 U Part 3 coming out. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be all about us. But I'm excited because of this. We're deep, man. You know, we got a lot of fifth year seniors, a lot of guys elected not to leave because of the COVID year. You could stay or you could go. Like most of our seniors staying for a fifth year. What college do you know that kids stay for 5 years these days? Everybody's three and out or four. These kids stay for a fifth year. We got a quarterback. O line looks good, you know what I'm saying? And we got a good coaching staff, you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about this. We got a great schedule. We open up with Alabama, great organization, good test for the youth. Our fans are ready to roll. So I'm all ready for this right here. We got a great roster. And I just feel like it's a direct correlation from when I played. We was like 9-3 my freshman year, went 9-4, 11-1, and then undefeated. I feel like this is that season similar to my junior year when we went 11-1, but hopefully it'll be 12-0. But I'm definitely excited about that, man.
Yeah, that's how you should feel. As far as all that, man, I appreciate your time. I know you got to get to your meeting, and maybe in the near future, if you come available, we can go on with these other stories that you got in mind. But hey, man, this is an awesome interview, dude. Like, hey, this is how you can reach out for him is go on Twitter. If you somehow just tag him, I just
Yeah,
caught him at a good time, so he's open. So,
yeah. Coach
thank
Coach
you.
Rump 16, Coach Rump 16 on Twitter, Coach underscore Rumph on Instagram. Um, I just want to tell you, I appreciate you, CG, man. All love, man. And whenever you need me, I'm back on here. Bay Area, much love. I miss y'all, man. I'm gonna be back out there soon for that Bay. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, all my guys back. Tommy from the Beehive, my boy Bruce, all my guys out there in the Bay, man, that showed that crazy love for me, man. And, like I say, there's no fans like you guys, so don't stop. Hopefully, the Niners will go undefeated as well this year and win that national championship. Y'all win if the Niners in the Super Bowl. I'm there. I'm coming back wherever y'all at. I'm out there. So much love to the Bay.
All right, man. Good show. You gotta get back to work, man.
All right, bro.
All right,
Take it
man.
easy. All right.
All right, man. All right, guys. Thanks for the interview. That was Mike Rumph himself. Appreciate everybody asking questions. Great interview. So CG Ruthless Sports is out. And go Niners.